Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Scare my heart.
Okay, so this was a cold early December morning in Topeka
Out on
Canyon.
the shores, greasing up the meat hooks.
Yes. Anyway, okay, so
With Ishmael.
Ishmael shows up and he's just like, "Hey, can you get the lights? They're behind the pole on the breaker." And I was just like, "Fuck it." I actually said "fuck it," and he looked at me confused. He was like, "What?" Because he's not aware that he says that. I was just like, "Oh, I'm kidding, dude." And he's just like, "What did you say?" I said "fuck it." And he's just like, "Oh," and he starts laughing. He's like, "Wow, you're crazy, man." And then anyway, he's just like.
So awkward.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck it, I'll get it, man. Don't worry." And I was like, "I'll come with you just so I know where it is for next time." And he's like, "Yeah." And so he goes in, and he typically there's a
big old like
a big old shaft.
Yeah,
right.
The way he typically gets over,
Yeah,
he swings on the pole.
Yeah.
Puts his feet on the rail and just
Do you
clicks
tip
what?
Where are you guys, like a jungle gym?
No, it's really weird. Like the breaker is behind a telephone pole, and the telephone is part of the building. It's really weird.
Okay.
So he usually swings by, and he gets a switch, but not this time.
Oh shit.
He, like I said, everything's icy. And keep in mind his accent.
Okay.
And this rail is. The breaker is on if you fall, there's a hill, and there's like a tree and like all this grass, and it just goes straight down. Very steep hill. You end up on the lot, but like steep hill.
Yeah.
So he swings by, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "It's over here." And then like as soon as he's about to tell me where it's at, he lets go of the pole.
Oh shit.
And all I see and hear is "Ah!"
Oh my god!
He's wearing an apron and a chef hat because that was his signature. He would always wear a chef hat. I forgot to mention that. He's like the Mexican Mario, and "Ah!" And I'm like Ishmael, and
The whale got him.
Something out of a movie.
and he falls. And he starts rolling down the hill. Luckily, halfway down, there's that tree. So he grabs onto the branch and it snaps. And I don't know what the positioning of this was, but there was a rock nearby. Like this kind of like a good-sized rock that starts rolling with him. But it doesn't hit him. I'll help you.
You go for the rock. You're like, wait.
No, and I'm like looking at him like, what I should do. And he grabs onto the branch and snaps up and he's like, "Fuck it!" And the rock's rolling down. He gets up. He picks up his chef hat. And the one thing he says is just, "Fuck." And I'm laughing so hard.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm laughing so hard. And I was like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I keep laughing. And then he was like, "Oh, my wife's gonna wonder what happened when she looks at me." And it just what makes it is the way he speaks, his reaction. "Ah!" You know? "Ah!" And that was probably one of like my most memorable work related stories.
That's what happens when you're left.
People do that all the time, though.
When I was on wasn't quite a camping trip. There was we went down to this boat. It's a boat that was remade. It was like a historically renowned boat that they remade for people to come on for tours and shit. And my class was able to do a sleepover there, and they didn't have the greatest food. So it was some spicy ass bowl of soup shit that, and I'm white, so I can't handle spice at all.
That's my favorite.
I can't.
Maybe I'm not white.
Well, you are a little bit tanner than I am.
God, finally.
She's found someone white. The chosen one.
So I opted out of eating that. And
of course, that sounds so white. I'm not going to eat that, guys.
I'm opting
Good
out.
guy, Chris.
That's all, folks. And now. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I didn't understand much about food back then. So I found these sugar packets, brown sugar packets. And I was like, this is food, right? I snuck it away from everybody and just ate like a couple brown sugar packets. And I was like, that's food. That works. And so then...
Sustenance.
And so then we fall asleep. And then my watch... We were having like watches because, you know, back in the day, sailors did watches. You know, each crew had their own like
So you just
watch
made
schedule.
your kids get up and just
Get up in the middle of the night and do watches.
with a gun.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be so fun.
So my watch was the last. So that means we got to wake up, stay up, but wake everyone else up with the pots and pans. However, we woke up. We did all the pots and pan stuff. But then immediately afterwards, we're putting the pots away. And I just... sit there and I'm like, what's wrong with my...
Are you shit in a pot?
And then I shit in my pants. I'm just... I waddle over to the bathroom.
Waddles. You have to
Waddle over to the bathroom.
Yourself.
I take off... It's powder. I take off my pants. I take off my underwear. I, like, wash it off in the sink.
Oh, were you crying when you did it?
It was my tears that were washing it. He's really enjoying this.
Oh my god! No! You're just a doo-doo. Oh, you're Oh god!
Oh my god! Let's cut to a clip.
Tears watching.
So anyway, I was washing my poop out of my underwear.
I just have bruises now.
And I then put on like my extra pair of like sweatpants that I had and walked outside. My stuff was all rolled up. I think my parents were there as chaperones or something like that.
No.
Or I remember. And I went up to one of them and I was like, told them what happened. They're like, okay. We took the train back.
Oh,
and
did you guys?
on the train back,
Oh no.
I was sitting in my
no.
seat, and then I felt it coming again.
No!
I'm going to catch this one before it starts. I run to the bathroom. A little bit gets out on the way, but not much.
Your dad's like, our son just keeps pooping himself.
At least you didn't get lost. They could just find you by your shit trails.
I barely make it there with just a little bit coming out, and then I basically have to go commando for the rest of the train ride
that always.
in these like nice sweatpants that my parents had just got me.
Oh, shit.
And so
We can't get anything nice for this kid. He just poops on it. Godly.
so
Hi, guys.
yeah, that's my poop story.
It's only
Oh
going
my
to be
god, that's so funny shit. Alright, I
So a story that's not as happy as we made it seem. So I got dropped off by Igmar. Okay, yesterday backstory. I was super tired. 2 days in a row, I just was up really late, tired. And then yesterday we went to a place called Six Flags. And then I had to go to work and finish some stuff up. So, needless to say, I got home at 11. What time did you drop me off? 11. So, I walked up to my apartment. I had a lot of food in my hand. And I was like, I'm ready to just eat food and go to bed. I am so excited. Reach in my pocket, no keys. So then I'm like, of course, with the Six
Fucking
Flags,
nightmare.
I put my keys in Nelson's book bag. I was like,
Backpack.
dope backpack.
So
Anywho,
you realize that it's in Nelson's
card. So I'm
backpack
like,
slash book bag.
So I go up there and I'm like, let me text him. Phone says, no, you're not. I'm dying. Phone died. I was like, oh my God.
2 nightmares in
Why
a row.
weren't you charging it in my car?
I forgot it, and I thought I had my keys. I always have my keys. So I'm like, let me put this food down. And so there's TV on, but everyone's windows are open. Everyone's window. So I'm like, not too loud because
I like to be just a little chilly, just a little uncomfortable to make me more comfortable.
I didn't think Nelson was. I thought he was not home. So
I get goosebumps.
So I reached over the side and I hit my roommate's window, not Nelson, another roommate, and I was like, hey, Derek, I'm invading your dreams. And all I hear is, I was like, Derek, nothing. I was like, okay, I can stop. So then I sit there and I don't know how long. I realized we use our phone a lot. And so my time, when I don't have my phone, I don't know how long it's been. So I'm going to say around 20 minutes later, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, Nelson always comes home late. He'll definitely come home late tonight. And it's 11. It's way too early for him home. So
I went to bed at 9.
He did, and I didn't know that. So
of all the days.
I didn't know this. So I knock on the door, because I thought I heard somebody. Nothing. Knock on the door, no one. So I'm like, okay. So one of my friends, they came in. They climbed on the side. Like, we have a little balcony.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. But I kept almost doing it, but people kept walking by. And people in windows, they had windows open. They were, like, looking over at me. And I just pretended I was texting on my dead phone. Black guy and all black. And I was like, this is not a good look for me. So then I'm like,
I like how
right.
your friends did it during the day.
They did it today.
That's
And
like
no
everyone's
F's.
gone.
And
No F's given. So I'm like, okay, let me just wait. So I tested it out. I'm looking and waiting. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? Nelson's probably parking. Let me go walk out. And I just see these 2 black guys just run by. And I was like, well, it's 11. It's almost 12 at night. 2 black guys running by is not a great thing. So I stop, and then one of the dudes, a Hispanic guy, turns and looked. Maybe it was a Hispanic guy. I don't know. I didn't look much. He turned and looked at me, and he looked back, and he was like looking over, and I'm like, and I hear like sirens. I'm like, what the F is going on? So I'm like, let me just walk out. So I walk out, and I'm walking, and I'm like, it seems really creepy and really quiet. And I see 2 dudes at the far end, and they look back at me, and they stop, and then they turn and they start walking slowly, and each time they keep looking back, and I'm like, am I getting cornered? So then I just did a big U-turn and I came back. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to climb over. I'm going to do this. It has to be at least 1 o'clock by now. And so I'm like, I'm doing it. And so I look. Okay, this is it. So I take my shoes off because I need grip. I use my little monkey toes to grip. So I going on the side and
That's how we got him.
Yeah, man. I kick my foot over and it hits the ledge. And I let go of the one arm and I lean back. And the drop's like a good 20 feet drop. Yeah. But it's into bushes and then someone else is like ish. So I'm like, oh. So that's a bad look. Because then they probably call the cops on me. I don't want to be like have a broken back like when that happens. So I swing back over and I'm like, oh God. So I'm like, okay.
Well, you almost fell?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So then I'm like, all right. Okay. And then at the corner I see Nelson's light cut on. I'm like,
okay.
This dude is home.
Let me interject here. So I kept hearing loud
this is your
breathing.
black
Yeah, loud. Yeah, this could be my Black History. We commingle. I just hear this loud breathing outside my window, and it's the most uncomfortable thing because I hear noise too, and I was like, is something moving in my room? Is this like the ghost story? Like, is a ghost here in my room right now? And I wake up and I'm like, no, it's nothing. And I just still hear the and I get scared, so I lay down.
That's me nearly falling, by the way.
I lay down. And you had the best timing because he started throwing pennies at my window.
Let's reverse back. So then I'm like, Nelson's freaking home. I was like, oh, I could have just like. So then I'm like, all right. So I like, what do I have around me? There's some big rocks. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And so the people like under me, eye level, and their windows open, and some of them, they're in bed. So I'm like, well. So I take these. I have pennies and have some quarters. So I'm like throwing it, and it's hitting not the glass, but like the screen. I'm like, he has to hear me. So I throw it. And I hear boom. I'm like, he heard that.
Every time I heard it, I'd be laying down. I'm like, no, it's nothing. I lay down, and then I'm like, oh shit, there's something out there.
So then while I'm doing it, I'm saying, but I'm trying not to yell. So I'm like,
That's so bad.
and all I hear is the.
So he hears the end because I'm like, so then I'm like, okay, let me aim for the glass part. So I take a quarter and I chuck it, and it boom, and I'm like, he heard that.
That's when I got scared, and for whatever reason, I was being a little bitch, and I was like, I'm not gonna check.
So then I'm like, okay, let me hit the window one more time. This one was way louder, and I ran away because I'm like, the people.
You gotta get over.
And that's when Derek said he looked out the window.
Well, I texted when I heard the loud one.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, are you guys up? Someone's throwing rocks at my window.
Please help me. I'm scared.
So then I'm like, oh, someone heard me, and I ran underneath the thing because someone moved on it like downstairs, and then Derek's like, yeah, I heard that, and then I looked out the window, I didn't see anyone. I was like, oh, no one's outside. So when he gets back down, because I do it for a second, then run back out. So he looks at the window, and then I run back up the step, and I'm like, no one. Are you kidding me right now? So then I lean as far as I can over the rail, and I'm like. So then, and he still doesn't hear me. And then I'm like, ting, ting. And I hear up. And I'm like, Derek, I'm out here, please. Nothing. So by this time, it's
begging now.
it's 2 a.m. And I'm
my
like,
God.
and it's so bad, I'm hallucinating. And like, I look in Derek's window and I see a figure just looking back at me. And it's not Derek, by the way. So I'm like, what? And so then I'm like, I put my hand in my hand and I'm like, okay.
Wait,
so then,
it's not Derek?
no, I'm just
It's
seeing
hallucinating.
Oh.
Yeah.
and like I lay on the ledge and close my eyes and I rock a little bit. I'm like, oh shoot. So then I'm like, one more time. Derek. And I like almost sob because I'm just hungry and
You're
tired.
about to cry.
So then I'm like, I should let me get my strength together and then I'm gonna try. So I put my head against the wall near his window and I hear, hey, you're locked out? I was like, oh shit!
And when
Because he scares me. Because he's just a regular voice. And then he's like, hey, you're locked out? I was like, oh. And then Nelson's like,
I know. When I heard you guys, I thought Derek was taking care of whatever thing was outside my window. I didn't know it was you still, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, Derek's sticking up for me. What a guy!"
so
Derek
immediately
still passed
after,
the fuck
so
out.
immediately after I'm terrified of Derek, Nelson in the most awake voice, hey, is that you guys out there? I'm like, you heard me outside throwing rocks, throwing little quarters for a freaking hour and a half. He was like,
It was 15 minutes that I heard you, but I was just too scared to do anything.
and finally I charge my phone and I get the most just hey, is that you guys? Hey, you guys hear that stuff outside? And I'm like, this.
Yes, me, motherland.
And the best part is when I woke up and turned on the light, when I thought it was a ghost, I texted my girlfriend because she was still up. And then I was like, someone's outside my window. I'm scared.
And I'm outside dying.
And then she says, it's probably Daniel. And you know, what I say is like, no, I think it's somebody else.
An hour later, I'm passing out on my steps,
God.
about to die.
You could have got
I add a
kidnapped.
little emphasis to this story. When I dropped him off, he was so hungry and ready
I
to
was
eat.
I ate so much food last night. You probably heard me in the kitchen just.
I did.
Angrily making food.
Fire.
You had to wait like 2 hours for that?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
2.5 hours. And I
Yeah.
debated just like walking somewhere, getting a charger, charging my phone, and just like texting because I know he was up.
I only woke up those last 15 minutes, man.
I swear to you. That's me too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there's a story.
That was both Black History moments and story time.
Yeah, man.
That was great.